So as promised, I'm back with another slow-mo movie recorded at 4,000 frames per second, and this time it's compound. This first video, yes, you can watch the arrow come out of the bow super slow, but what's really interesting is the movement on the sight after the arrow is gone. This is world-class bow shooting 60 pounds with X10 Pro Tours, and the sight really moves around. It's crazy. If you like that video, please subscribe because I'm going to have more high-speed, slow-mo movies coming your way. This next shot is another compound bow with the arrow coming out and just bouncing a little bit. As it's coming out of the bow, you'll see it just dip down, just due to a little bit of knock travel on the bow, and it just bounces away. But another interesting point to look at, maybe on the second play, is look at how the cable slider moves forward and how much that gets pulled around. And this is the reason why I like lightweight plastic cable sliders and not these big heavy metal ones with rollers. They look amazing, but when you look at them at high speed, the metal ones have so much mass, they just smash themselves around too much. So with the cable slider, stick with the lightweight plastic ones. This next shot is a wide angle, again of a 60-pound compound, and I think the point of interest on this one is how much the string moves around. So even though it's a super tight, super strong 60-pound bow with the aggressive spiral cam on there, the string still moves around significantly. This is the same bow again, just close up focused on the arrow rest. And on this one, the arrow comes out pretty straight. And now even more close up, you can see the back of the arrow just dips down and compresses the rest as it's leaving. But this was a world-class setup bow shooting world-class scores, and you can still see when you slow it down to 4,000 frames a second, it's still not perfect. Again, another 60-pound bow, and you can see the arrow dips down, and afterwards the rest is just left swinging around. So this is why sometimes when you've got arrow flight like this, even when the bow is performing well, this can be why before a major competition you change your arrow rest, because if it keeps swinging around like that, shot after shot, week after week, it's gonna break. So before a major competition, change your blade. It's only like $10, could be the best $10 you ever spend. This angle is great for seeing how straight compound arrows come out of the bow. And if you watch my recurve slow-mo video from last week, you will see that the main movement on a recurve arrow is left and right, this oscillation. And on a compound, it's simply not there. The difference in arrow flight between the two disciplines is immense. And I also want to add, that's why quality of arrow is so critical for recurves. Having the consistency of spine, so every direction you bend the arrow, it's the same spine. That's why it's super critical for recurves, and it's a little bit less critical for compounds. The recurves are physically bending the arrow left and right while the arrow spins. So they're literally testing the spine in one direction, then the next. Then it rotates a little and we'll test the spine again. That's why compounds can shoot world-class scores with some arrows with a slightly lesser quality, and recurves, you need to spend as much money as you can, because the quality of the arrow shaft, the consistency of that spine, super critical. This is a close-up on the face of a world-class athlete. This is a World Cup medalist, and he's got a super clean release. There is no significant face contact. So this is an example of what we do want it to look like. We want your release aid to open and the string to leave cleanly. So any of you who have the string touching on the compound, have the string touching your chest or pushing into your chin, you'll pay a significant price. That arrow is so lightly suspended there at full draw when you release. If there's any push into your face, the arrow will literally just push out to the side and you'll end up with an arrow that looks more like a recurve than a compound. And finally, we have another arrow rest close-up. And on this one, when you get towards the sort of back 6 inches of the arrow, it just pushes the rest down. And then as the arrow come up, it actually clears the rest without the fletchings getting hit by the arrow rest as it returns up. But it's very close. You can see how it'd be quite easy on some bows for the rest to be pushed down and then for it to spring up and hit the back of the arrow. I've seen that many times. I'll try and get some footage of that. But the takeaway from this I want you to have is that none of these bows, even though they're shooting world-class scores, they're not perfect. It's not quite as maybe we'd like it to be. And look after your arrow rest and change those blades regularly. This type of arrow rest pictured is by far the most popular sort. The blade rest for world-class target archer dominates the market. But don't be afraid, change it before any competition that you care about, because failure is just catastrophic and not worth it. Okay, well I hope you'd enjoyed today's videos. I will try and put some more together, so please subscribe if you want to see them in the future. Costs you nothing. And also I have a couple of vacancies left on my coaching program if you want some one-to-one online coaching. But apart from that, good training and good shooting.